welcome to this month's wrap up. Let's get straight into it with my favourites. So, my favourite film this month was Anyone But You, and I can't believe how slow I was when it came to this film. It's a really good film, but I can't believe how long it took me to realise that it was basically another film. It was basically Shakespeare, and there were so many freaking clues, and then they even had like Shakespeare quotes, and the characters were named the same, and the plot was like exactly the same. And I did get it eventually, like before the film ended, but it took me longer than I'm proud of. But yes, if you haven't seen it, Anyone But You is a really good film, and it is based on the Shakespeare play A Much Ado About Nothing. So yeah, so Anyone But You is Shakespeare's play, and it's like the characters are the same names, same plot. It just took me longer than I wanted to, but yes, it's a good film. Nice little rom-com. Gave it 4 stars. It was nice, and it was nice to sort of have that, like, I don't know what to say about it. It was like how rom-coms have been kind of it was nice that this one wasn't, but then of course it was Shakespeare. So yeah, Anyone But You is my favorite film. My favorite TV show is The Neighborhood. It's come back, and it stars Cedric the Entertainer and Max Greenfield. He played Schmidt in New Girl, and who else? Beth from Two Broke Girls, and a bunch of other people. I really like it. I have to say, Cedric the Entertainer is my favourite, I think, in the show. But yeah, it's really good. I'm happy it's come back for another season. I think it's season 6 now. And it came back this month, and I'm really happy and I'm enjoying it. My favourite song of the month is Beautiful Things by Benson Boone. Yeah, I really liked it. I wasn't sure I was going to, but no, it's a nice song. So if you haven't heard it, give it a try. It's very it was good. My favorite book of the month was Cursed by Elizabeth Adams. It is a Pride and Prejudice variation, and I don't know if you've seen this on like Instagram, Facebook, any social media really. I'd been advertising that Kindle Unlimited was doing a deal, 2 months free, and I thought, you know what, why not? And so I've got Kindle Unlimited free for 2 months, and there's tons of Pride and Prejudice variations. Pride and Prejudice is my favorite Jane Austen novel, so I like reading the variations. They're basically fan fiction, with like what if scenarios, like what if they hadn't met, what if they met earlier, and what if Wickham wasn't the bad guy, what if Mr. Collins wasn't as annoying as he was, things like that. So I really enjoy reading people's different interpretations of it. So Cursed is basically the Darcy family is cursed, but it's not a bad curse. Well, it is, but it isn't. And basically, this curse leads him to his soulmate, who is Elizabeth Bennet. And I didn't think Darcy would believe the curse, but he does. And he gets his cousin to help him as well. His cousin, Colonel Fitzwilliam, and they end up trying to make sure he doesn't insult and be his usual charming self, when he does meet Elizabeth Bennet, and it's a nice book. It's a nice little story. I love Elizabeth Adams versions. She's got like 10, maybe more, different variations. I've read, I think, nearly all of them. And she's sort of doing like a supernatural sort of section. So Cursed is in the supernatural one. There was another one where Elizabeth Bennet has the power to heal. There was one where Elizabeth Bennet has like premonitions and she can like see the future, so she knows that Mr. Bingley is Jane's true love and things like that. So yeah, it's sort of it is a standalone. You don't have to read the other ones to understand it, but yeah, make sure you give Elizabeth Adams a try. She's amazing. So those were my favorites for the month. Now let's go and reflect on the month. Right, February in one word was short. Obviously, it's less days. It felt like it was going quicker than January. Like January for me dragged a little, and this month seems to be flying by quite quickly. I gave it an 8 out of 10 because it was pretty good. Nothing too terrible happened. My highs were I completed, right? I have done so well on my goals this month. Like, I'm just knocking them out of the park. Actually, no, not knocking them out of the park, but I'm doing really well on my goals. And I managed to complete like 2 of my goals. And I think I had 23 to do. So now I'm like, I've only got 19 possibly to do. So I'm like, just like, yep, done it. And I'm like really impressed with how well that I've done it, because with goal setting, I set goals and then I don't achieve them, or they're not really goals. But this year I was like, I'm gonna do stuff that I want to do, not what like other people are saying that's not really a goal. I was like, no, this is a goal for me. And I think because the fact that I really wanted to do them helps me achieve them. If I'm gonna say, oh, I want to work out every day, I don't like working out, so I'm not going to say I'm going to work out every day, because I just know I'm not, and that's a goal I'm never going to achieve. But it was like things like I'm going to read non-fiction books, and I really got into that. And it's like I'm going to cook new recipes, and I've done that. And so yeah, so this month's been really good with my goals. I've completed that, and I completed an online course. I did some Skillshare courses. I only wanted to complete one course, but I ended up completing like 4. And I think I learned quite a bit out of 2 of them. The other 2 were a bit, but I did do it, and that was my goal. And then another thing that I did was I went on a solo date, and I will post that video later on. But yeah, I went on a solo date. I enjoyed myself. I took time out and just like took time for myself and relaxed and enjoyed it. I slowed it down, because normally it's like, oh, I gotta do this, gotta do that, and it's like get in, get out kind of thing. I took my time and I enjoyed myself. So I will be doing more solo dates in the future. My lows were, right, so I'm learning how to play the keyboard, and I had an app that came with the keyboard. Unfortunately, the app was really good, but it was only a free trial, and then it said my free trial expired, and it said, do you want to continue? You have to pay this much money. And I didn't think the money was the right amount for the app, so I had to get rid of it and find a new app. And it took me like 4 or 5 different apps before I found the app that I'm currently using, which I am enjoying. But the problem with the app that I'm currently using is that it only lets you play for free for 15 minutes, which can be a bit of a nuisance. But 15 minutes a day isn't that long, and I can commit to that, so it's also kind of good. But yeah, so my low was the app that I was currently using had expired. That was my low. But I got a new one, which I'm liking, so that's a high. Another low was my cat had to go to the vet, She got in a fight and she had an abscess and it stunk. And so yeah, she had to go to the vet, and then she got some antibiotics, and then I had to like chase her around the house trying to give her medicine. So that was a low because I don't like it when she's poorly, but she's doing much better now. She's finished her medication, and yeah, it's all healing nicely, so that was good. What did I learn? I learned that if I want something badly enough, I will work for it. So going back to the example for the workout, if I work out, great. If I don't, it's whatever. It's not a major thing for me. But if it's something that I like really want or find enjoyment out of doing it, like learning the keyboard, I'm enjoying it, I tend to do it more, if that makes sense. So to improve, I'm going to go after things that I really want to go after, and I'm going to keep improving on that. So that's how I'm going to improve going into the next month, focusing on what I really want and going after the goals. I've got a few goals in March planned that are slightly different. I think that was my reflections. I'm going to do my goals that I have achieved this month, and then I'm going to show you my goals for next month. So these were my goals for this month, and I managed to do every single one of them, so I'm really happy about that. So it was save 10%, read non-fiction, try a new recipe, practice the keyboard, continue learning my Spanish, take an online course, which I did with Skillshare, take a photo, go on a solo date, and post weekly on YouTube. So I'm really happy that I managed to do all that. So my next month's goals are pretty much the same, except one or two differences. So I still plan to save 10%, read non-fiction, practice the keyboard, practice my Spanish, but I also want to visit an English heritage site before my membership runs out, which is in June, I believe. So I thought it'd be nice, like when spring arrives, to maybe go out and do that. Take a photo, post weekly on YouTube, and this one I kind of just put spur of the moment thing, try and do a social media detox. I think I'm really going to struggle with it, but yeah, I want to try and do that at least 24 hours, like just one day without looking on Instagram or something. That was this month's wrap up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.